Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Monday afternoon here on Footprints Forward. As you can see, it's me in a big screen right now because everyone else is pretty busy tonight. I know that Stephanie is in the beginning stages of her move, so everything is kind of up in the air, but that is okay because we do have our guest. Our guest is here, and that's the most important person. So I just wanted to let everyone know that last night I've got a new decoration on the wall, as you can see back there. We did our event with the Colorado Grit, a hockey club here in Greeley, where we had families and kids coming on in, and we're trying to teach these kids that look, it's not hard to help people. You've just got to be a little inventive. And one of the things that we asked these kids to do was tell us, how can you help someone today? And I'm going to tell you, there were some of the greatest answers. We had little kids that were talking about praying for everyone. I'm not a religious person, but I thought that was a very thoughtful answer. A lot of stuff about a ton of stuff about helping the homeless with many different things: food, clothing, blankets. Shoveling sidewalks for those who are disabled or elderly. These are kids anywhere from the age of 16 to 4 years old. And then, of course, we got to watch a great game together, and it was fantastic. If you go on to the Cub Club page on the website, which is communitypayitforward.us, and you go to Community Dare to Care, you scroll down or you hover over that, and the Cub Club's going to come up. You can go on there, and you can see a couple of the pictures. We're asking anybody who was there to join us. Allow us to put our pictures or your pictures up on our website. I know that we had a ton of fun. I got to do something I've always dreamed of doing. I got to drop the puck. And that was just, I don't consider myself having much of a bucket list, but I got to be honest, that was one of the things that I always really wanted to do, and for any of you that know anything about hockey, I did something a little unusual. I tried to kick the alternative captain for the opponents. I tried to kick him out of the face-off circle. It didn't work well. He just kind of looked at me like I was a little goofy, but we still had fun. I know I threw the PA guy off a little bit because he was like, no one's ever asked us that. So leave it up to me to come up with something kind of goofy. Hey, everybody, my name is Zach Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channels, where our goal is very simple. If you need help, if you're doing great things in the community, we want to be there to help you. We like to work with people who have gone through some hardships at no fault of their own and help them work their way out of it. Our program's not there for the long-term, help when it comes to families in need. But the cool thing about what we do is we can offer families in need help. Okay. Because we're not a 501c3, we're allowed to get away with doing this. And we do it by marketing and introducing wonderful, wonderful partners throughout the country, like our own Mr. Z, who's, here, a huge part of this show. And if you purchase a website from him, he gives us money, and we turn 80% of that around to help someone. that's what Community Pay It Forward is. Of course, Community Dare to Care, we give away free clothing, free housewares, when we can store free furniture and more. I always tell people it wasn't mine to give away or to sell. I'm not going to sell it. We'll give it away. So, and then of course, here on the PAC channel, we are trying our best to inspire people, help people, and give people alternatives to their problems. We strongly believe that no problem is a one size fits all thing. What might be good for me is not going to work for you all the time. It's just not going to. We're all individuals. We've all got our own crosses to bear. So, well, it's kind of funny. We were talking about hockey, and my guest is from Hockey Heaven. She's way up north, where it's cold and the people are very, very friendly. So most of the time, unless they're at a hockey game, and then I know they're not that friendly. But she's put together a wonderful organization that the concept of it is really, really close to what we're talking about. She's got a multi-layered program to where she's got different counseling individuals doing different things. So if one thing doesn't work with you, there's something else that you can try. So it's something that you can try to figure things out as you go, or you can just go there and be introduced to one of their wonderful partners. But Parmelia Parham is our guest. How are you doing with the Healing Institute? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Zach. Thank you so much. And this is a wonderful opportunity to be on your show. Yes, so the Healing Institute is a virtual global hub of holistic practitioners, and we are available for people that are looking to be well and stay well on their health journey, because we know we're all on a health journey.
What inspired you to do it this way? Because I know a lot of, practitioners, they've got their way of doing things and they want to stay in their lane, kind of like a lot of people do. They want to just stay in their lane. They want to do this. This is what we do, and we don't, go outside of this. You didn't do that. You said, you know what? This is my lane, but this is someone else's lane. This is someone else's lane. Let's put them all together, and then that way all of our lanes go towards one thing, which is helping people.
Well, and it all came about, Zach, because of the pandemic. I was doing my own modality, which I have my another company that I do my healing modalities through. And I was starting to meet people on these global networking platforms all over the world. And then I started to meet other practitioners like myself. And I thought, why not make this a virtual global? Let's heal the world. Let's get that information out to the world. Let's let people know, give people hope, and let people know that there are so many wonderful healing modalities. And let's put them all in one house. Under one umbrella, but let's put them all in one house. And so that's how the Healing Institute got created. And it was just a concept that I had initially. Before the pandemic, I was going to put something together in the small city here where I live on Vancouver Island in Canada. And then when I started meeting holistic practitioners all over the world, it just made sense.
I do. When you and I, we talked a couple weeks ago, it was a couple weeks ago, and you were telling me about, you've got people all over the globe who are doing, working with you guys. Why don't you tell us who they are and what they go with, and round it out by telling us a little bit about you, what your practice is, and what you really like to focus on.
Okay, well, thank you. I just want to bring to your attention, though, it's thehealinginstitute.com.
Oh,
And because the healinginstitute.ca was already taken when I was designing it, I have to put hyphens in between the healing and institute. So
okay,
I don't want
okay.
people to go to the wrong website. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I saw the .ca and I was like, well, that one's got to be it because of that. But so I will find it correctly if you want to go on ahead and start
Sure.
telling us about your team.
Yes, so the modality that I work with is called the Body Code. Was created by a doctor from the United States. His name is Dr. Bradley Nelson. It's looking at trapped emotions or unprocessed negative emotions that are stuck in the subconscious. And we connect with our clients. We can do this now over Zoom or over the phone. It's energy healing as well as emotional healing. It's distance healing. And just for people who may not understand how that works, we are all part of energy. We're made up of energy. And so it can be done all over the globe. And so I have practitioners in South Africa, in Ireland, in the United States and Canada, in Germany. And I'm just thinking we're just onboarding another practitioner from Slovenia, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, England as well as England. So right now we have 10 practitioners representing 6 countries. And my vision is to grow that to be 12 plus countries and 200 plus practitioners. So I really have a vision to make alternative health available to as many people as possible. There, you got it. Absolutely.
I knew I recognized it. I was wondering if maybe you changed your website since the last time we talked. You know, it's been a busy week, I got to admit. So it was a little busy. So what do you focus on, Parmelia? What is your specialty?
Well, I have been studying, just to give a little bit of a background as to where we are right now. I was studying emotional healing and energy healing just for myself. I never thought, this was 20 years ago, I didn't know that it was going to turn into a business, because at the time I was an event planner and was doing events, corporate events. And then with the studying that I was doing when I moved from one city to another, I just, I became more joyful within myself, learning how vibration works, and learning how when you are in joy, then those are the vibrations that you give out to other people in the world. And so then I was introduced to the emotion code, which is the first level, and then the body code, which is looking at everything that's going on in the body, all of the systems, all of the glands, all of the organs, the chakras, the meridians, our nervous system, digestive system, everything that's happening in the body. And the process that I take my clients through is connecting to their subconscious with their permission. And this is another thing that we're not taught. We're not taught that that most of what's going on with us is in our subconscious. We're taught that this conscious brain knows it all, but in fact, this is only 5% of what's happening. What's in your subconscious is 20 or 95%. So when you connect to your subconscious is really true to who you are. And we find out exactly what these emotions are, and then we release them. And they can be, depending on what the client wants to work on. It can be for physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. It's all looking at the health of the client. So I love this modality because it's not, people don't have to remember when this emotion showed up for them. We just find it and release it.
What do you say to people when they come in, and I'm going to use the hillbilly terminology here because I think it's kind of fitting for this. But if you have somebody come in and they don't understand this hippy dippy, stuff, and they're not sure if they even give it a try,
you can use the word woo-woo.
Yeah. This rigamaroo or this voodoo, if you will. What do you tell them? I know it's not one of those things that you go, oh, shut up and try it. What is it though that you try to tell them to reassure them, hey, this is real?
Well, just what I explained, that we're all made of energy. And again, this is not something we're taught. We all have vibration. We all have electromagnetic field. Anybody who's got a science head knows that there's an electromagnetic field. Those of us in the woo-woo world call it our aura, but it's all the same thing. And so when you understand that, and you understand that you can actually make changes to your electromagnetic field by incorporating some of these different healing modalities, there's hypnotherapy that can now be done over Zoom and over the phone. And the hypnotherapy, again, is connecting to the unconscious or the subconscious. And that's where a lot of our emotions are trapped. Dr. Bradley Nelson, who created the protocol, calls them trapped emotions. And that's where they're trapped. And that's where they do the most damage. So if they're trapped in the subconscious, they can also be trapped in your body. And when they're trapped in your body, that's what starts the dis-ease or disease. So once we understand what those emotions are, and we can cognitively find out, oh, well, that emotion, I don't need that emotion anymore, whatever that might come up, whether it's unsupported or misaligned, or I don't need it. I don't need that emotion anymore. So consciously, then it helps to release them out of the conscious brain as well as the subconscious for better health.
I know I've got a dear friend who is in the hypnosis world, who's actually been on this show before. And she is a licensed hypnotic, I'm sorry. And she does, she really kind of blew people's mind that you can do this over Zoom, and you can do all the, you just have to kind of let it happen, don't you? With all of this work, you have to allow it to work within your body.
Well, I always say you need to be curious. I think we talked about this when we were meeting a couple of weeks ago. Oftentimes what you got in trouble for as a child ends up being your gift. So I was always curious. I was always asking too many questions. And I always was too sensitive. That's what my parents were always telling me. You're too sensitive and you ask way too many questions. But that is what I always think we need to do. We need to be curious. If you have a physical ailment of some kind, find out why you've got that physical ailment. Just don't look at what the symptom is, because the symptom is only a symptom. There's other underlying things that are going on. And that's what I love about the practitioners that are on the Healing Institute platform, is we find the root cause. So we're not just looking at, as a physical ailment, an ache or a pain, or as an emotional ailment, why you feel sad, as a mental ailment, why you're not feeling or not being as mentally alert as you want to be. Or spiritually, if you're not feeling that you are in touch with your divine self, why is that? So we look at what is that root cause. And so most of the alternative therapies that we have with the practitioners on the Healing Institute, that's what they do. They're finding what the root cause is. And when I'm doing my emotion code and body code work with clients, when I'm releasing these emotions, which could be despair or discouragement or sorrow or sadness or frustration or grief or guilt or longing, overwhelm, when I'm helping them release those, they're in fact releasing them out of their body as well, so that they can be physically healthier.
I know you just answered it, but there was a lot of information in there, and I would just like to help clarify this, because in your last answer you did answer a lot of this. But what makes this practice better than going to a doctor and just getting medication?
Well, we're learning more and more about the side effects of medication. And I do have a personal story that I normally share, is that we lost my mother at age 61. And it was due to her being on a medication for over 20 years. that compromised her kidneys. And not once did her doctor ever tell her that the side effect of being on this medication for a long period of time, the kidneys could be failing. And so she got ill, and within a month she had passed away. Now, the reason, that story, I was 5 months pregnant with my son. So it was right at Christmas time. And I don't want anybody else to have to go through that. And that's why I called the Healing Institute an institute, because I'm really passionate about education and educating people about how they can be well and how they can stay well. So that's why I say, be curious, find out why. Is your doctor putting you on this medication? Find out what are the side effects of this medication. Find out if there's an alternative to using that. Maybe there's a supplement that you can use. A few years ago, I was having issues with my knee, and I was standing for many hours at a time because I was a hostess in a dining room at the time. And I went to my allopathic doctor, our regular doctor, and he just said, well, use Tylenol when you have to go to work. I thought, I don't want to do that, because I had read about how Tylenol can interfere with what's going on in our stomachs. So I went to our health food store and I talked to one of the practitioners there. And I said, do you have anything that I can use that's not Tylenol, that's more, based on some holistic remedies? And sure enough, she found something for me and I used that instead. So again, I was being curious. I was asking. I wasn't just taking that information because my medical doctor said I should. And, with my background of finding out about my mother, that probably helps me even ask more questions. But I think we should be always asking questions about our health, and always be doing some research, doing our own research. And I think if nothing else, the pandemic has taught us that, because we really had to be looking out for ourselves. Certainly where I live in Canada, the first 2 years, we still have people wearing masks going out into, large centers like grocery stores. But we had to take responsibility for our health. And I think that's a really good, positive thing that came out of the whole COVID pandemic that happened almost going on 3 years ago now, or 4 years. Yeah. Which seems hard to believe, but I mean, it's still cropping up. So we're still having outbreaks of the COVID virus. So we still have to be careful. And I know lots of people that are still wearing masks. As a matter of fact, I went on a vacation with my youngest daughter in November, and we decided we were going to wear our masks in the taxi going to the airport, in the airport, and on the plane. And we might have been one of the few people that were, but we didn't get sick. And, so again, we're taking responsibility for our health, which I think that we needed to do. We gave away our power and our responsibility for our health for too many years, in that we were really relying on medical doctors to tell us how to be well and how to stay well. And that hasn't worked out that well.
I like to tell people all the time that, we as a society got, I would even call it, pig-headed, because we thought we were above the plague. We thought that we were above all of these things that happened when there were chicken in the street and you emptied your out bucket onto the street. COVID came along and proved, no, you're not.
Exactly.
No, you're not. And so it is one of those things. I like to, you were mentioning November. In November, I caught COVID for the second time. I think actually it was the third time, but it was the second time I tested positive. And then it was about a week and a half after I recovered from COVID, I caught the bird flu.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I will tell you this, neither of them are, neither of them are fun. Okay. But I would take COVID over the bird flu every day of the week. That bird flu is no fun at all. I'm already a sore person, because I'm a bigger guy and my joints are killing me because I'm a bigger guy. That bird flu, every muscle in your body, every bone in your body. Oh, it was just terrible. Um,
So
I
I want to
do.
just mention as well, Zach, that when we're looking after our own health, we also need to look at what we're putting in our bodies. So not only from a food point of view, but also from a supplement point of view. So you want to make sure that your cells are really healthy. And if your cells are healthy and your body is healthy, then your immune system is healthy. And this is certainly what a part of what I learned with the body code. We can have a compromised immune system. If you have a compromised immune system, any little bug that's coming along, you're going to get it. So you want to make sure that your immune system is really, really healthy. So taking things like vitamin D, zinc, quercetin, vitamin B, vitamin C, of course, but make sure that you are looking at what you're taking as supplements and they're actually helping your body and your cells stay healthy. Very important.
Pramila, I have an ex-wife that, and I've told her this before, so this isn't something I'm talking behind her back, but I've told everybody this lady, she can catch a cold by watching a commercial on TV. Her immune system was terrible. And, that was something that was, trying to get her to stay healthy was a very difficult thing. But of course, back at that time, I've got to say, we weren't living the healthiest of lifestyles. Not that I live, the look, nobody's ever going to take a look at the way I live and go, well, this guy's going to live forever, But the thing is, I don't get sick a lot. I do have headaches because of the injury, and I know that I've done some things in the fields that you guys work on that really seem to work for a little bit. Some of the things that you guys that people work with are drums and music and taking and grounding yourself. Can you explain to people what grounding yourself is?
Well, again, I'll take it back to energy. We all have energy. And a grounding exercise is something that I do every morning. I do what I call an energy balance. So I see a lot of clients during my day. I'm interacting mostly on Zoom, but sometimes in person with a lot of networking platforms that I'm still part of. And I don't want my energy to be depleted. And, people can recognize that there are people that come into your life that we call energy suckers. They can just take that energy and you don't know what they've done with it. So one of the things I always recommend for people is to do a balance or a grounding. And you can do it, I do it first thing in the morning. I have a yoga meditation that I do. That's something else as well that I recommend for people to have a way to start their day. That you're not jumping out of bed and looking at your phone and going to check email, that you actually start your day with some intention that your day is going, how you want your day to flow. Because that, I believe, is part of your self-care and part of being healthy. And so, yeah, the grounding is mainly standing with your feet on the ground, just feeling yourself grounded, like you could be standing in the backyard on the grass, which would be great if it's not wintertime. And then just feel that energy, that our electromagnetic field that I was talking about earlier, or aura, and just feel yourself being that you're going to just be. I say we're actually human beings. We're not human doings. So we do too much, and we need to calm ourselves down and do what we can do to actually calm our parasympathetic nervous system down, so that fight or flight or freeze amygdala gland is not overworked. And a lot of that is happening, I know, for people that are anxious a lot and are really stressed a lot. And I know part of what the work that you do with mental health and suicide prevention, these are things that need to be put into place so that we're not going to be led down that path. So yeah, grounding is a perfect way to really feel like you're in charge of your own life.
Why drums and different music? Why does that have a soothing effect?
Because it's all part of our electromagnetic field. It's all part of our aura. It's all part of our vibration. The law of attraction says the vibration you give out is the vibration you get back. Well, we're all part of vibration. There's actually a worldwide I'm not going to say the word right, but it's a vibrational grid that's all interconnected. So if you meet somebody in another country, or you're on a Zoom on a networking platform, and you go, really, I can connect with that person. Well, you can, because the vibration will help you connect with that person. And again, this isn't something we're taught. So as you can see from my bookshelf behind me, which is only one in my house, I do a lot of reading. And so now I've learned how we can heal ourselves, our bodies are really amazing. If we give our bodies half a chance to do what we're made to do. And so if we are, as I mentioned before, eating healthy as possible, and also whatever supplements we're taking that is helping our bodies and our cells remain and be healthy, then we pretty much can ward off anything that's coming our way.
I think you just made an amazing point that when you're meeting with somebody like this conversation here, just talking to you is making me feel better. Just because you're upbeat, you're happy, you're a very, very kind person. And it's one of those conversations that I'm not going to walk away from going, God, that was and we've all had those conversations. Yes. But it is true that, that's just one of those things that we can connect in that way. So it's proof in what you're saying.
Well, and you have to kind of know yourself a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, it might take a little while, but you kind of have to look at that. And again, that's another part of being curious and finding out, okay, I'm not happy about this right now. Why am I not happy? So I'm not going to lash out at somebody. I'm not going to yell at my husband because I'm not happy. I'm going to find out why. Why am I not happy? It's not because of someone else. I mean, we might think it is, but really it's not. It's something that's going on with me. So I then want to know what that is all about. And my energy and healing journey, which I started over 25 years ago now, it took me 8 years studying under one of my energy teachers to actually learn what makes me happy. And so I don't think that is selfish and self-centered. Certainly that was the way I was raised, that if I looked at myself, that was being selfish. But now we know that's not selfish. That's self-care. And just like they tell you on the airplane, you want to put your oxygen mask on you first before you're going to help anybody else. So your self-care is really important. It's very, very important that you are feeling that you have that self-care, and put things in your life that make you happy. And think about what other things you can do. I mean, gratitude is a very high vibrational frequency. Somebody's joining us. So
hi, dog. I don't know where all that music is coming from.
So you want to look at your gratitude, how you express your gratitude for what's happening in your life. And the more you're grateful for other people in your life who's coming into your life and things that are happening in your life, that's the vibration you're going to give out. So that's the vibration you're going to get back.
The first comment I wanted to make is I need you to talk to my wife and tell her that, if she's mad at me, it might be because she don't feel well. I'm not, there's no way I'm going to tell her that. She'll hurt me if I try. So I'm going to send her to you too.
Okay. I'm good with that.
No, actually, you know what though? I would love for you to be able to meet my wife, because she does. And I told you this before. she is studying to do the Reiki and crystal work and some of this other stuff that I don't understand it. I'm one of those guys that, what is all this foo-foo stuff, But now, you saw it before, in which I left it upstairs or I'd be wearing it. Most everybody always sees the crystal I have around my neck, which is actually not even a crystal. It's a piece of petrified wood, but I was drawn to it, and it said, "Come and get me," and I love it and I wear it. So, it's I understand, and I think the best thing about what you guys offer is there is no addiction, and there's no look. You can't get hurt doing any of this.
No.
I mean,
I want to give people hope.
Yeah.
I think our society needs hope. That
Yeah.
there is a better way, that we can be healthy, that we can move forward, that we can be happier. And that's part of our mission and our vision with the Healing Institute, is to give people hope. We also have our motto is service with love. And love, again, is a very high vibrational frequency, just like gratitude. It's actually higher than gratitude. But, we need to have, I don't know about you, Zach, I think we need more love in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely do.
Yeah, we need, and I think a huge part of that could be we need to slow down a little bit.
Absolutely.
We need to, a lot of times we're making those snap decisions, and that's part of life to a point, but we need to make sure that that's not every part of our life, that everything is just and go. We need to slow down a little bit, and we need to remember that something that you and I had talked about, which was very timely, because our guest, the first show, mentioned it, and it's the breath work that you guys do.
Yes. Yeah, we have a fabulous practitioner on the Healing Institute, and she's a conscious breathing facilitator. And I've taken I've been very fortunate to be part of some of her exercises that she does. And they are amazing. And when you say we need to slow down, I totally agree with you 100%. And we need to breathe. That's something that we're not taught to do, is how to breathe deeply, and then how to be, again, stop doing and just be. We've been given, I believe, sort of it's a bill of goods, if you want to say it that way, that if we're busy, we're more productive. And if we're more productive and we're busy, then we're more, it's better than not being productive and busy. But that, in fact, I think has got us into this whole tailspin about just doing and not taking time to breathe, and not taking time to just be in the moment. So very important.
Yeah, it was Ashley. Oh, geez, I struggled to say that. Thank God I talk for a living. It was Ashley with Tomorrow Needs You. And I asked her this simple question: what do you need to remember after you lose someone? Because she lost her son to suicide. The question to her was simply, what do you tell people? What's the first thing you tell them that they've got to do? And you got to breathe. That was her answer. And then when you and I talked, I believe it was later on that day, and it hit me like a rock, because that was two wonderful people saying the same thing, two different directions. One coming from the side of her life was in a twisted ball, and you were trying to prevent somebody from being in that twisted ball. So it was really a neat, well, I don't want to use neat, but it was really eye-opening, because it was two people saying the same thing, which means there's got to be something to it.
Yes, most definitely. And grief is such an, what happens to us when that, when we lose somebody. I mentioned my story about losing my mother at a very early age. My part of my grieving process was she never got to meet my children. My children didn't get to meet their grandmother.
Yeah.
So that has always been something that I've been, working myself through, and just, giving her as much accolades as I can, and giving memories to my children who never knew her, but at least I have memories that I can share with them so that they can at least know about her. And I don't think I don't believe that we need to get over grief. It's not something you get over. That's something that has been part of my life, my whole life. And I just remember, a kind of our North American maybe way of thinking was that, okay, well, that person's passed away. It's now been 6 months. It's now been a year. It's now been 2 years, whatever. Are you not over it yet? And I just have never, ever said, you do not need to get over it, because you're going to remember that person, who, regardless of what happened and why they're not with us anymore, but you're going to remember them on special occasions, birthdays, whatever, even the day of that they passed. I mean, I'm not going to ever forget that. That was the 15th of December when my
Yeah.
mom passed away right before Christmas.
Trying to force yourself to get over it, I think that would be more problematic and even more dangerous,
I agree.
because
Yeah.
if you convince yourself that it's not important anymore, there's going to be something inside of your body that's saying that's just not factual.
Exactly.
So I love the fact that you brought that up, because trying to get over something is just I lost my grandfather when I was 16 years old. That was almost 40 years ago for me. I miss that man every day of my life. I think of both of my grandfathers, and the my other grandfather I got to spend much more time with. He was around until my 20s, but but I miss them. I miss all my ghosts. I miss all my ghosts
They're your
dearly.
angels, Zach. They're not your ghosts.
I
They're
love
your
calling
angels.
them my ghosts, just because I can go and I can talk to them, and I feel comfortable with them, and it's just being being in the paranormal world, it fits there. But I've been calling them my ghosts forever, because they were there for me, my spirit, my spiritual guides, my ghosts, in which, and no, I'm not a guy who sits there and believes that they tell me what to do or anything like that. But you know what? I know that when I go and I sit at their resting place, I know I walk away feeling saddened, but feeling so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah. Because
So,
you're celebrating them as people and the influence that they had in your life.
yeah.
And that's so important.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, trying to tell somebody to get over it, that's just
Yeah, it's not right. It's just not
and
right.
okay, so let's go on ahead and let's delve into what are some of the successes that you guys and at the institute have had with mental health.
All right. So yeah, so most of us that are working with the modalities we're working with, touch on mental health. And so definitely one of our practitioners who is a parent and family coach. She's here in Canada, but on the east coast of Canada, and she's also a educational consultant. So she consults with the primary schools for the most part, and consults with the teachers and teaches the teachers how to accept these children based on what their behavior might be. And so, and of course, when it comes to families, there can also be some mental health issues that are happening. And so she gives parents guidance as to how they can navigate, for want of a better word, through those rocky times, and also gives them tools to use with their children so that the children won't have, won't feel that that's their fault, or there won't be any mental health issues created with the children. And a lot of, as we all know, a lot of what comes up for us sometimes as adults is how we were treated as children. So if we were treated with abuse, whether it was physical, emotional, mental abuse, that will again trigger us as adults, and definitely from our mental point of view. So that's one of our practitioners. And of course, I mentioned our other one who works with breathing, and she really has helped a lot of her clients who are feeling very stressed, overwhelmed, on edge, and from not just a physical and emotional point of view, but also from a mental point of view. So the breathing that she has incorporated with them and the exercises that she gives them has really helped with their mental health. One of our other practitioners is a clinical counselor, and she again works with families as well as individual adults, and she really gives them as much. The support that she gives them is just amazing. She really encourages them to find out who they are in their inner core, and how they can then navigate whatever it is that they're, whatever they're going through, whether it's a relationship upset, or whether it's any kind of a mental illness, or if they're, physically not well. And so she really looks at each one individually. And I guess that's what I have to say about the practitioners that are part of the Healing Institute. There's no cookie cutter. We are looking at each individual client, and it's on my website in format that we look at each client as a whole person. And so we're looking at what is the root cause of whatever is going on with this client. And so, yes, so those are the three that are coming to my mind off the top of my head, as well. Of course, the work that I do with Body Code, that really is also looking at how we can help and be strong, not just from okay, I'm going to be strong now, but give you tools on how to release those emotions that have maybe skewed your mental thinking, and then how we can change that. So what are the tools that we can give you so that you know that this is something that you can become healthy once you know what they are. Mm-hmm.
You really have to be careful, because your mental health drives a lot of the way that you physically feel as well.
Yes, that is so true. And so we do need to, we really do need to take care of our mental health. That's really so important, to take care of our mental health. And we again need to look at what can we do, what can we put in place. So if it's a counselor that you need to talk to, great. Make sure that you make an appointment to have a conversation with that counselor. Certainly, if there's some emotions that are coming up for you and you don't know, I call them running the show, and you don't know why they're running the show, come on to the platform and find the practitioners that can help you with those emotions. So I agree. Mental health is very, very important, and us keeping our mental health. I believe, we can do many things physically. whether it's, more exercise and what we eat. We really also need to establish what we need to do, the tools that we need for our mental health and our emotional health, because they all fit together.
And we've mentioned two of the biggest ones earlier in the show, one being breathe and the other slowing your mind.
Mm-hmm. And grounding. Remember, we
yes, grounding. And grounding. Very, very, very good. Thank you for that reminder. Can you please tell me about this section of your website?
Yes. So I designed the website for clients coming to the website and then choosing a practitioner. But they may not know what that practitioner is, and all the practitioner information is in the back end of the website. So if you are looking to be a practitioner, you are a practitioner, and you would like to be part of or you want to have a conversation with me, then you can go to the practitioner button, fill out that form, and then I'll send you a Zoom link, and we'll have a conversation. As a client, the other button, I didn't want clients to leave the website if they were confused or if they really didn't know what they want. And a lot of people don't really know what they want. So I've designed the website with 5 different categories, where in each one of those categories are the modalities. And when you click on the modality, if you think that's what you would like to explore, then the practitioners that deal with that modality pop up. If you don't know, then you can come down to the client button and fill out that online form, which is an email that comes to me. And then I reach out to you, and then we try to match you with a practitioner. But it was really the website's designed for people to self-identify for the most part. Yeah, this is our little piece here about where I was talking about the whole person client. And we are really passionate about healing the world, and also making healing available and alternative types of healing available for people. The little piece on the right-hand side, that was a statistic I found back in 2021. So it may have gone up, but it just kind of supports that we're doing this online. And I think the statistic says 83% of the population back then was saying, yeah, I'll do something online when it comes to health.
Yeah, little did they know that was going to become the way of life.
It was going to become the way of life.
Yeah.
And then this is a video. I have an advisory board of 4 people. And this is a video that one of my advisory board is actually interviewing me about my why. And I do talk about the fact that my mom died at such an early age. So if you want to see me talking about that, it's 9 minutes long. So you don't want to play it right now, Jeff, because we have time. Zach.
Yeah. I love playing. And here's how you can get onto the Institute's mailing list and learn more about it, and also all the social media outlets and yes, other ways of getting a hold of Parmelia and her team. I understand a little more about what you guys are doing because I'm in this world. And I have people who talk to me about it quite often. It's not something I fully understand, but that's okay. I'll leave that to the professionals. I'll sit there. I will tell you that I have done a few things where tons and tons and tons of chemicals have not touched. Mm-hmm. A simple shutting your eyes and relaxing has done miracles. And it's true. I'm not going to sit there and verify something that, didn't work for me. I'm not going to sit there and say that this product worked for me because, well, if it didn't, it didn't. But that's okay. That's not what this show is about. This show is about trying to find what's best for some people. And I do know, I will say this is something that I think everybody can be affected by it in some way,
Yes.
because it does make you slow down, the breathe and the grounding, and it puts yourself into alignment,
Absolutely.
and makes, it puts your body into a position where your body needs to be to work fully.
That's
So,
correct. Absolutely. Because when you're in that fight or flight or freeze mode, and some people have been in that for generations, your body can't it can't regenerate its cells, and it can't, ward off any viruses or things that could be coming your way. So we were just starting to explore some of that around some of the new science that's coming out about how our digestion affects our brain. And so looking at what you're eating actually can make sure that you have a healthy brain versus a brain that may end up getting Alzheimer's or dementia. So this is brand new science. I mean, I'm sure the medical profession, some of them, it's been out there for a while, but it's only just getting to mainstream society about the difference between having a healthy brain and what is making your brain healthy. So those are really important things to know. And that's, I'll always say, stay curious, always ask questions, always find out what's really going on. And especially if you have something that's going on with yourself, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, you really want to know, okay, well, how can I address this? And what is out there? What are the resources that are out there that can help me address this? Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's I think it's just natural that they're starting to find out all these things that affect the brain, because we know very little about the brain. We know very little about the powers of the brain. And so we can learn so much. But again, we got to stay curious. We got to make sure that we don't go apoplectic. We don't go copacetic. We don't just sit still. So, Parmelia, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, it's definitely through the website, which you've put up there, which is great. And you can just type in my name. There's a search bar in the website, and you can it's a search bar for clients to type in something they want to work on, whether it's stress or illness or sleep. And then the practitioners that deal with those issues pop up. Or you can just type in the names of the practitioners. Now we have them in a directory. Yeah, that's the search bar right there. We have everybody in a directory, and not just by themselves, or a list of just the practitioners by themselves. So you can type my name in the search bar, and then my profile will pop up. And then if you go down just a little bit farther, yes, right here. So these are the 5 different categories that I created. And then as you can see in each one of the categories, this first one pops up as emotional healing. And that's where the body code is, which I work with, as well as realigning belief systems. And also I have a practitioner who's a gentleman who really works with men, coaching men on finding their purpose in life. So each one of those categories have a list of the modalities. And if you're curious about what those are, when you click on the modality, then it will pop up the practitioners that work with that modality.
Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank you very much for joining me. It was a wonderful, wonderful conversation. I enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you a little bit further. Thank you very much. And hopefully we can do this again and we can talk a little bit more.
So, I would love that. Thanks so much, Jack.
No problem. Hey, everybody, stay tuned, because starting here in about 10 seconds, we're going to have last week's episode replaying. And I would like to invite you back again next week for our next episode of Footprints Forward. Please remember that no matter how softly you walk, you're always going to leave footprints.